All right, all right. Positive energy all the time. Rep your city, rep your city. I'm going to push through with this. Lava has some technical difficulties with my internet. They were supposed to come out yesterday because this is another day today. They were supposed to come out on Saturday, but I couldn't wait for them. So they're going to come early this morning. In the meantime, I'm just going to push through and do the live anyway, even if I look a little fuzzy. As long as you can hear me, I guess that's all that matters. And also let this be a lesson. If you want to be a content creator, sometimes you got to push through, even if you have some technical difficulties. But I've had them rebooted a few times. I should be all right, but you just never know. So come on in, rep your city, rep your city. We have the state of Texas in the building. I'm representing Chicago. Everybody on Kick, everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook. I am representing Chicago, Illinois. Come on in and rep your city. Hopefully I'm not too blurry and I can make it through until in the morning. The internet has been going through something, especially with these storms. These storms are causing havoc. I really feel sorry for the people at Comcast here in Illinois. They're catching it, boy. They have to constantly keep replacing equipment, wiring. It could get worse. Who knows? We got Detroit in the building. Always a pleasure. Beautiful and gorgeous. Kathy Wilson is in the building. Bear with me if I get a little blurry. This the news. And a lot is going on in Africa. We have San Jose in the building. We got Kansas City in the building. Oh boy, Kansas City. I wonder if Kansas City still have some of the most beautiful women in the United States. I had a queen from Kansas City, but I got arrested and was in the county jail for 4 months. So I kind of lost contact with her. Oh my God, she was something else. She was a firecracker. I had found out she was a stripper. She was a stripper in Kansas City somewhere, which I was like, she was ready to quit. I met her at a reggae show in Kansas City. I was vending there. And the great thing about it is so many women because they came from both Kansas cities. I don't think a lot of people know it's two Kansas cities. There's Kansas City, Missouri, and there's Kansas City, Kansas, I think? Because it's right in the middle of two states. Very unique. Boy, some beautiful black women in those two states right there. We got North Carolina in the building. Rep your city, rep your city. I'm going to talk about this. Hopefully, I'm not too blurry. I'm going to talk about this situation that's going on in South Africa. It's really getting dangerous in South Africa. The immigration is causing some real, real problems, right? What city are you in Texas? Alabama in the building. Rep your city, not your state. Rep your city. What city? Shout out to all my people in Alabama. That's my ancestral state. My mother and father both from Alabama. Salute everybody in Mobile, everybody in Decatur, Birmingham, everybody out there in Uniontown. They don't represent Uniontown. And all the other cities, because my God, relatives, every city in Alabama, I have relatives. That's for sure. So rep your city, not your state. Let me know your city. What's your city? Represent your city. I'm representing the great city of Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to all my people in Los Angeles. Shout out to all my people in Waikiki, Hawaii. Shout out to all my people in Hilo. Right? Yeah, I'm just going to work through it, Quaylen. They're not coming out to do the rewiring until in the morning. I don't feel like waiting. So you're going to just have to listen. It's not probably going to be the best view. Shreveport, the weather is bipolar. You almost need the heat on. Same thing going on in Chicago, Kathy. I'm not expecting a great year. The weather looks like it's going to be a problem from here on out, to be honest with you. The weather looks like it's going to be a problem. Seriously. We got Wellington, Palm Beach, Florida in the building. Shout out to all my people in Florida. I get around like Tupac. I had a queen in Florida. I don't know where she's at either. I lost her while I was in jail too. That's not a good story. I was with too many women, was it? I was with all those women when I went to jail. I think I put like 4 women when I went to jail. It's amazing how, sometimes you don't think about what you're doing. You just be doing it. Yeah, I lost my queen in Florida too when I went to jail. And she had said she was pregnant. So I don't know if she said she had my son. I don't know. She used to be, I don't know if she was always telling the truth, but that's what she claimed. I hope she's all right. She had medical issues. She was always sick a lot. She had them gold teeth in her mouth. That's bad, and I would get around like Tupac. I had a queen in Harvey, Illinois. I had a queen in Milwaukee. I had a queen in Kansas City, and I had a queen in Florida. I forgot where she was living. I don't know if it was Opalaka or something. It was real. I forgot where it was at. It was down by Miami though. So I was staying a little bit north. We took a limousine. So there was like a 2-hour limousine ride to get to Miami. So wherever, that's where my hotel was at. But I know she lived down there. So we stopped to see her relatives before we got to Miami. I don't know. I wasn't, that lifestyle, it's not a stable lifestyle. I was hustling. So when you dealing like that, you don't really have a good mindset. You don't have a stable mentality when you hustle like that. When I was hustling, I didn't have a stable mind like that. Everything is like off to the side, Nothing is nothing is your family is important, but it's still like off to the side. Everything is secondary to the hustling. And it's probably the hours you have to work. It's not like a 9 to 5. So, when you're hustling, you could easily put in 16, 18-hour shifts. That's a lot. I'm sure my wife at the time wasn't super happy about it, but at least I got a baby out of it. She's doing great. So I got a baby. That's why I love children. Children sometimes is the only reward. So I'm talking about what's going on in South Africa. Oh, whoa. Now, I'm not anti-immigration, okay? So I want to get that clear because I am going to be going hard on immigration, but not because I'm anti-immigration. I just don't like the way immigration is dealt with. There's no way, and I'm talking worldwide. They're gonna have worldwide forums on immigration. The way they have immigration right now makes no sense. None, none, none. The money that they're losing on immigration, they could be helping the countries where the people come from. Seriously. The immigration makes no sense. None. The way immigration is done right now is the dumbest thing ever. It's horrible. Because you can't let the immigrants make the decision. You can't let other people decide if they can come to the United States. The United States has to solely make that decision. You can't let Asians or Africans or South and Central Americans or Mexicans, you can't let them, Europeans, you can't let them make that decision concerning your immigration. And so in Africa right now, in South Africa, they're really having a serious xenophobia situation. Serious. It's going to turn dangerous. Anybody could see it because so many Africans from Ghana and Nigeria and a few other countries are going to South Africa. at the detriment of the South Africans. They're going to South Africa and they're taking away the businesses that the South Africans absolutely need. And now the South Africans are rising up, and getting a little pushy, a little violent. They want everybody out of South Africa. Now, I've seen a brother say, well, they want us out of South Africa, but they don't want the whites out of South Africa. The reason they don't want the whites out here, because the whites are mostly tourists, and the businesses that are white are not the businesses that the South Africans hustle, use for their daily money. The whites ain't there taking over the barbershops, the beauty shops, the businesses on the street that them people need. The Africans are doing that. And the government is doing a horrible job with immigration, just like Biden was doing here in the United States. Immigration in the United States is out of hand too. You can't let the people from other countries decide whether they can come here or not. They have to come based on, is it possible to house you? Are you taking food out of the mouths of American citizens? You can't come here and take food out of our mouth. I don't care where you come from. You can't come here and take money out of our pocket, food out of our mouth, take up houses, none of that. That has to be available for you without inconveniencing us. It can't be that, oh, you flee in Africa and you think you can just come to the United States, or you flee in Venezuela. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to come if the economy can muster you, if the economy can handle you. It can't be your decision. That's what I like about immigration. The immigrants can't make that decision because they could care less about what's going on in your country. They're just running from where they're at. And if your country just falls, if they ran, they'll leave too. So somebody that comes to your country, if they collapse your country, they'll leave you there with the collapsed country because they ran from the collapsed country. And they're not good at fixing their own country. So somebody that can't stand up and fix their country, that comes to your country, is not going to stand up and fix your country. They're just not. They're going to run here from West Africa or whatever, Ethiopia, or wherever, Venezuela. And if it falls, then they're going to run to Canada. And if that, they're going to just run. And they're going to come, they're going to ruin your society. And they're going to destroy your society. He says many other developed countries require that one have a skill set to contribute to the host country and or financial means to take care of. Yeah, and they just run across illegal anyway. Because when they come across illegal, Goshen, you can't enforce your law. You can't enforce your rules to people that's illegal. That's what Europe is going through right now. Europe got restrictions, but if they don't respect your border, they're not going to respect nothing. They don't respect the border. So you cannot expect somebody that don't respect the border to come and behave. Also, For sure, criminals are going to come. You know, when Trump said a bunch of criminals was going to run across the border, people took that the wrong way. He wasn't saying it was all criminals, but it was amazing how people try to pretend that if somebody gets in trouble in South and Central America and the federality's looking for them, you got to be a fool not to think they're going to run up here. I mean, come on. You know criminals are going to run up. What? They're going to just stay down there? Some of them might be looking at the death penalty. They're going to stay in Brazil. They're going to stay in Venezuela. No, they're going to run wherever they can run. Duh. So he turned around and said he called them criminals. That's not what he was saying. But for sure, criminals came from Venezuela. Absolutely for sure. Not only did they come, the Venezuelan government refused to give America information on the criminal. A lot of them had escaped from prison, and a lot the Venezuelan government let them out of prison and sent them up here. That's been proven. And so South Africans are tripping right now, okay? In the past 10 days, mobs armed with clubs, machetes, and spears have attacked foreign nationals in the streets of Johannesburg and Cape Town, accusing them of taking opportunities meant for locals. Zimbabwe, Ghana, and Nigeria, 3 countries with large diaspora populations in South Africa, have condemned the violence and urged their nationals to stay safe. Nigeria and Ghana also called on Pretoria to hold perpetrators accountable and strengthen protections for migrant communities. Now, Nigeria and Ghana need to take their people back where they came from. Nigeria is notorious for sending Nigerians all over the place that ain't really helping, in all fairness. I mean, that's just a matter of time before foundational Black Americans and Black immigrants going to clash. I know, don't tell the truth. Talk positive, don't talk reality. There's no way you're going to come here from Africa and be Black like us and take opportunity. Eventually, the rubber's going to hit the road. You're not an ally. We really can't say you're a friend. I can honestly say, for Black immigrants are definitely not our friends. There's nothing about them friendly. There's nothing about them cooperative, to me. They can look like you, but don't really deal with you. And when you live in a society where there's heavy racism, a dominant white society is going to make sure that if them people impact anything, they're going to make sure they impact the Blacks. You understand? You're not going to take those European jobs here. You're going to take ours. That's just a fact. That ain't going to work. If you look at FBA pushing for reparations and you look at some of the back and forth between FBA and the Africans, I don't know what make people think that's not going to the streets. That's going to go outside. Come on. Duh. to the Africa's detriment. It's not definitely. You ain't got no wins here. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Duh. I always thought it was ridiculous. I think Africans on the internet should be ashamed of themselves. They putting their people in harm's way, talking crazy to foundational Black Americans, putting your people in harm's way. To me. Me personally, I see no benefit from Africans being here or Caribbeans. I don't see no benefit to us at all. I don't see racially them being a benefit. I don't see them as an ally at all. I just don't. I see them as somebody taken from us. That's what I see. I'm not going to say the enemy looks like us because Nazis is the enemy. KKK is the enemy, and they don't look like us. So I can't make that blank statement like that. There's a lot of European cops and they're storing us in these penitentiaries. There's a lot of European jurors, a lot of European judges that's throwing us in these penitentiaries. Africans ain't doing that. Caribbeans ain't filling the penitentiaries with us. And they're not discriminating against us. As a matter of fact, they're not the ones hiring other Blacks over us. Because you got to look at who do that, who puts them over you. And that's the European system. Because that's the one letting them in here and giving them all type of stuff. Who gave the Venezuelans all that stuff and didn't give you nothing? I mean, let's keep this real. But that's the problem, because we are already in a struggle against a lot of racist European type mentalities over here. So the last thing I need is a Venezuelan or African or Caribbean enemy and sandwiching me. I'm already in a fight. I don't need you coming here. You're not helping. Period. You in the way. To me. I feel like Black immigrants are the worst. They have no racial pride. They know our situation. And they're not here. They are just here to take. To me. Especially, well, really all of them. Because they don't have racial pride where they live at. There's no racial pride in Africa. They're tribal. This is why a Nigerian and a Ghanaian can go down to South Africa and run over his own brother and sister because he don't consider them their brother and sister. Why would you go there and eat off of some hungry Black people? Why? And in Africa, Nigerians are notorious for going to other African countries and taking away opportunities and being nasty about it. I mean, many of my friends say the Nigerians are the nastiest, are the worst Africans. That's what they say. I'm not saying that. I'm not pushing no type of hate or nothing like that. I'm just telling what's really going on. If somebody is a hater, I'm not a hater because I point you out. I don't promote none of this. I'm just telling it. And so in the past 10 days, mobs been out in the streets. In South Africa. It's getting out of hand. Nigeria joins Ghana in warning South Africa over xenophobic attacks. That's excellent. That's great. You know what I'm saying? Keep working, keep stacking that money. Right? This is what's going on in Nigeria. This is what's going on in Ghana. This is what's going on in Africa. Look, at least 5 Ethiopians unalive this week. Johannesburg, South Africa, as xenophobic attacks against immigrants from other African nations resurged in South Africa. And they're not even posting all of this in the African media. I have to search this. 4 of the victims were unalive within 48 hours. On Monday this week, 3 were shot in a McDonald's in Johannesburg Central Business District. The suspect reportedly walked in and shot the victims inside the restaurant. They were pronounced unalive at the scene, according to South African news media. Because the brothers and sisters in South Africa are feeling overran. Because the brothers and sisters in Africa, they ain't being taught, they not taught no type of decency when it comes to relationships. They just come to your land and just the hell with you. Seriously. That's how they are here in the United States. Look how many problems we had from African hair salons where women come in from Africa on our turf and think they could talk to our wives and girlfriends and daughters and the females in our family crazy. And they do it at the beauty salons because you know they can't do it at the barbershops. So they do it to the women. Now, how long you think that's going to happen before one incident go crazy? We're separating, but because we don't control the hiring, we can't stop them. We can't stop the system from giving them our jobs. Because FBA got to do more than separate. FBA got to become more dominant. And this is where FBA need people like me. It's not enough just to delineate. You got to get in some type of power. Delineation is fine, but delineate and open up your own beauty shops. Okay? Where is the FBA beauty shop? You can't just say you FBA, but you don't got nothing FBA. You don't have nothing foundational. So we got to do more than just say we foundational. Where's the foundational restaurant? Where's the foundational beauty shops? Where's the foundational nail salons? Where's the foundational auto mechanics? Where's the foundational Black American businesses? Because without that, what foundation? What you mean foundation? You can't be foundational without no foundation. I'm just saying. Talk is cheap. So it's time to get like those agencies. What's the agencies called that send nurses? I ain't been with a nurse in a minute. I forgot what she called them. But they have agencies that work with the hospitals, and when they out of certain people, the agency sends people. Where's that? Where's the agency to make sure that Black nurses, male and female, people that do x-rays, people that do all the different stuff, Where's the agency? So when a hospital needs employees, where is the foundational Black American agency? Because you got Africans doing it, sending African women in there to get the jobs we should be getting. So this way got to be some upgrade with the whole FBA. That's all that just FBA. We need to see some. We need to see some foundational Black American work. Because trolling Black immigrants ain't gonna put no food on the table. So we need to see where's the foundational Black American economics. Let's start there. Okay. But these governments gonna have to change the way they function. See, let's take the United States. The United States got founded, we. They began to go west. They began to build up industries and stuff. Populations began to grow. But all of these countries get to the point where the population is fully grown. So now whatever you was doing in the 70s and the 80s when you had room, these countries going to have to look and say, you know what, we don't have the room we had 30 years ago. We don't have the room we had 40 years ago. We're going to have to shut our doors. We're not going to be able to have no 1980 immigration in 2030. They got all over the world. They're going to have immigration policy, and they're going to have to absolutely shut the door. No, you cannot come here at all. We have to count the population, and then if there's some room where the population go down, then a few come on in. But you can't just pile people on top of a growing population, less jobs. You got automation, you got electronics, robotics taking jobs. So why would you pile these people? Now, elders smelders. Elders don't need nothing. Elders don't need nothing. You 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds got to get off y'all funky ass and go out there and make something happen. Change is made with young people. Now, you young people lazy. You're blaming elders, but you're bums and you're lazy. All our movements was young people. Never none of our new movements was never no old people. You young dudes is bums, okay? All right? Show me, so what? Fred Hampton was an old elder? Show me any movement that was the elders. Martin Luther King and all them was young. Malcolm and them was young. The reason you put on elders because you're some young bums. Show me any military that's built with old people. You go to the military at 18. Why would I go save you? I'm 68. If you don't fix it, you the one got to deal with it. You want me to fix your problem? That's your problem. I'm retired. So if immigrants overrun you, that's going to be you. That's going to be my sons and daughters got to deal with that. I don't got to deal with it. So what you want me to go out there and save your ass? It's to the young people. Get off y'all young bum asses and get out here and do something. You want to party and drink and do weirdo shit. The current young Black generation, you're the bummest ones we've ever had. You have no fiscal responsibility, no responsibility to your community or nothing. You're the worst and the most selfish. You got you're a bunch of selfish bums and lazy. Every time I see is the elders, the elders, the elders, the elders. But you ain't doing shit. All the gang banging, all of the violence in the community is your ass. That's you. That's you rapping the crazy rap. That's you, 20 years old, misleading the teenagers. That's you doing that. Ain't no elders doing that. I remember young black men was always right in the game, finding out what's going on socially. Now all you trying to do is buy purses and dress like a girl and wipe on cars, and you got no fiscal. You don't even want to get married and have a family, okay? You talking about you ain't gonna have no family till you get 40. So leave the elder's name at your mouth. It's not the elders, it's you young bums. Immigrants ain't gonna come take the jobs from elders. They're gonna take your job. Yeah. They're not gonna take so immigrants gonna come take retired people's jobs. We retired. So if you don't do something about immigration, it's not gonna hurt the elders none. You the one ain't gonna have no job. Listen, I'm getting on my nerves tonight. You understand? As a father with 6 children, my job is to make sure my children be on their square. My children can't never tell me shit. Because the shit rolled downhill. They got to get themselves together. My daddy done did him. My mom and daddy gone. I done did me. I done stood up for this country. That's my problem with the Africans. I stood up for the Africans. And my relationship with the Africans, I feel like I wasted my time. I shouldn't have gave a damn about apartheid. I shouldn't have gave a damn about Africa. Because they ain't reciprocated nothing. They act like Black Americans didn't stand up for them. They come over here with their nose in the air. We was fighting for Africa. I've been fighting for Africa from the 70s, late 70s on through the 80s and 90s. We were standing up for Africa. Africa don't come over here and look down on us. It's funny that the South Africans is complaining about other Africans as much as we stood up for apartheid, and the South African ain't did shit for foundational Black Americans. What South Africans ever did for us? Now they getting their medicine from other Africans. Now they crying. Shoot. Apartheid, the fight for apartheid was mainly in the United States. Where the first place Mandela went when he got out? New York. We the ones came out there at that parade. We the ones was rapping about Public Enemy, and we the ones was rapping about Africa. Africa ain't never said nothing about for us. We the ones. As a matter of fact, the Russells in Jamaica stood up for Africa more than the Africans. And what did Africa do for Jamaica? All of that pro-Pan-African movement that came out of the Rasta movement in Jamaica, including Marcus Garvey, show me where any African ruler in modern times have reciprocated any love back to the Caribbean. Ain't gave them a dime. What the president of Ghana ever said? Have they ever sent any gifts or any goodwill to us outside of Africa? Not even Black Americans. What did Ghana, have Ghana sent anything to Jamaica? Have Ethiopia sent Jamaica a dime? No. No. And it's safe to say that Jamaica was the most pro-African place in the world. And that's a fact. Bob Marley was an international superstar, and he always talked about Africa, performed in Zimbabwe. And what have Zimbabwe done back for blacks in Jamaica? What does Africa do for blacks anywhere in the world? They don't even help each other in each other's country. Estimates of migrants who are in South Africa illegally vary significantly, with figures often cited of 3 to 5 million. Accurate, up-to-date figures are contested as many of the foreigners lack legal status. Anti-immigration groups argue that illegal immigration causes urban overcrowding, labor tensions, tax revenue losses, and crime and border security threats in a country where unemployment exceeds 30%. In some instances, anti-migration groups have chased foreign nationals away from public health facilities, claiming they were contributing to a shortage of medication and overcrowding. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, recently expressed concern over reports of xenophobic attacks and acts of harassment and intimidation against migrants and foreign nationals in part of South Africa, including KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape Province. What do you expect? You go in there and they piling them people on top of some people that they ain't got enough for themselves. And then you come and taking food out their mouth that they barely got themselves. You can't come from Africa and take jobs from other black people in other countries. You can't do that. And the fact that the black African countries and countries in general don't work on that is a disgrace. Europe, America, Canada, all of Africa, Asia, they got to work on that. Immigration has to stop the way it is. You cannot go eat off another country until it's established they can afford to feed you. But you can't have this world where people struggling and you're going to run from fix where you at. The idea that you can't fix Nigeria, but you running everywhere else, eating off everybody else, that got to stop. Stay your ass in Nigeria and fix your country. Because why should somebody respect somebody that will not stand up and fight and fix their country? You don't deserve respect. Now, if there's some type of war and you're women and children and you got to flee, yeah. But when that war's over, you got to go back home. You got to go back and rebuild. You can't stay to where you ran to. I'm not against helping people running from war. You know, women lost their husbands, their babies, people that's handicapped and stuff. Okay, that's fine. But when that war's over, you got to go home. You got to get out. And the world we got now need to promote fix your country. Fix your country. And as far as tribal, yeah, tribal is good. Because if you ain't tribal, somebody going to eat off of you. And you got to look out for your own tribe. Because the other the other people ain't going to give a damn about your tribe. So tribalism has its benefits. Because if you don't respect your own, who else going to respect you? Black Americans need to be more tribal. That's our problem. That's our problem. We're not tribal enough, to me. Because people would say tribalism is no good, but your family is tribalism. Your mother, your mother, father, and brothers and sisters, y'all are tribe. So do you throw away family as tribalism? Do you feed everybody on the down block? Right? So a mother and father are supposed to come and they supposed to take care of their tribe in the house. They supposed to feed everybody and take food out of their children's mouth. And in many cases, feed somebody that's lazy. Because we live in a world where Mr. Jones won't feed his children. He will let you feed them. He sure will. We live in a world where you, Mr. Smith, you work hard to feed your family, and Mr. Jones will let his kids eat off of you. He sure will. And bring him some food too. Yeah. We live in a world of leeches. That you'll go out there and work your ass off, and they want it. Who remember the story about the ant and the grasshopper? And the ants was working, putting up food all summer, all spring, all summer. And the grasshopper was teasing them. Y'all work too much. Then winter came. The grasshopper was knocking on the ants' little place where they live. Can I have some of that stuff? The ants said, get the hell away from me. When we was out there working, you was hopping around thinking shit was sweet. You didn't help us bring nothing. You didn't help. None of this food we got, you helped. Matter of fact, you teased us. And if you ain't know what I'm talking about, you ain't been outside. Because friends will do that. Friends will sit back and kiki and have you work like a dog. And then get jealous because you got something or want what you got. And the black community, we got young black men that sit on their ass while you work, and then they go get a gun, take the easy way, and just take it from them. They don't want to work. They want to let you work and then rob you. Lazy people will rob you. Lazy people will come to your country and rob you of your wealth, rob you of everything you got. Won't work in their country and will come to your country and take and eat and take and talk down on you. We just seen the lady, I forgot what was she Haitian or whatever, said what she said about Black Americans. Let's take a break. This is the news. And this is a world problem. This is a world problem. This ain't just no black problem. Look, Europe is adopting stricter immigration policies, emphasizing tighter external borders, accelerated deportation, and potential third country processing to handle increasing migrant arrivals. Rising far-right influence and security concerns have led to the overhaul of EU migration systems, including return hubs for rejected asylum seekers. Major strategies include tightening borders. Germany is closing land borders, and Italy is doubling detention times to curb illegal entry. Externalizing asylum. Italy has initiated agreements to build detention centers in Albania, a model for border European plans. Mass deportation. Germany and other nations are passing laws to streamline the removal of rejected asylum seekers. Reduced arrival. While illegal crossings dropped by 38% in 2024 to about 239,000, tensions remain high across the Mediterranean, Balkan, and Eastern routes. So they saying, listen, they don't even want to process you in their country no more. If you want to come here, you got to go to another country and be processed and get cleared from there. They don't want you staying here while they processing you. Why? Because they can't afford it. It's ridiculous to think that you can be a lazy man or don't have your affairs together in your house and that your children can come eat at my house. It's the same thing. It's ridiculous to think that your country, you don't want to do what you got to do in your country, and then you can come to my country where we working hard to provide for ourselves, and you can come from a lazy, busted, toe-down country, and rather than fight to fix it, you come here. And in many cases, you're going to be lazy and busted down, and you're going to be a lot like the country you left. You might be one of the people responsible for it. So you're a bum. You don't want to do nothing in South and Central America. And then it gets so bad, then you want to run up here and live the same way. Look at Los Angeles. Los Angeles looks like a third world country. Them people didn't come to California and build up nothing. They came and tore it down. That's what they did. That's what they did. I speak for a lot of foundational Black Americans. We have no relationship with Africans. Period. They're totally worthless to us. I'm not hating on my brothers and sisters from Africa. I'm just telling the facts. All they do is take from me. They're not making nothing better. If they put Africans out of the United States, things would be better for us. That's the Africans' fault. We're supposed to lose something if they get kicked out. So if we gain, what does that say about African brothers and sisters? If they throw out all the African brothers and sisters and we gain, what does that say about African brothers and sisters? That they didn't bring nothing. Or they was taken away. How you my brother and my sister? When you come and eat out my kitchen, but you don't never put no more food in the refrigerator. You don't never put no food on the stove. That's Black immigrants in America. I'll tell you all to your face. You come off the back of our struggles in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, everything we've been through. And then you come in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and you just eat off the plate. And many times you don't even like me. Like we don't have no relations. Look at the Africans here. Look at the Haitians here. Look at the brothers from the Caribbean. Look at the Nigerians. Just look at them. They're not no kind of friend, ally, Ethiopians. They don't bring nothing to the table for us. They come and become a competitor. And the only breeding they do is with our women. We don't breed. We don't get to breed with theirs. They come and drop babies on our women. This is what they do. Nigerians are notorious for it. And then don't really like the babies or the woman. The baby's like a bastard. So they talk about this tension in South Africa. You don't think that's going to happen here? Just one wrong incident at an African braiding shop, and all hell gonna break loose from the West Coast to the East Coast. It's gonna be over with. Remember, I prophesied. I said it first. That's why so many Black Americans like Trump, because he hoping to throw you out. You're a tether. That's what a tether is. A tether is a Black person that comes here, that have no respect for us, that don't like us, but eat off our table and still look down on us, but eat off everything we built. Because without our struggle, your Black ass wouldn't even be able to come here if it wasn't for Martin Luther King and all of them. You wouldn't be able to drink off a water fountain. You wouldn't be able to get on a bus or nothing. You come here, you're getting on buses, you're getting on planes, that we made that possible for your Black ass to get on anything. And you act like we ain't responsible for you to be able to walk around the streets of Chicago. We had real violence in Chicago before I was born. Y'all don't know about the Blacks at the beach and it started the Chicago riots? It was some gunplay and stuff for us to walk around Chicago. I was born in 1958. And if you are African or you Black from somewhere, I am definitely one of the reasons you can walk around. That's an absolute fact. That's an absolute fact. Me and my OGs, especially my OGs. But I played my part too, because once they cleared the way, I had to hold it down. I had to hold it down walking around here. I couldn't walk around as freely as Africans can now. We couldn't go to Marquette Park and certain West Pullman. We had, you know what I'm saying, how Africans and Caribbeans here just all over Chicago don't understand. They in areas they wouldn't have been able to go in. People fought for you to walk your African ass, your Caribbean ass around here. Yeah. People fought for you to be here. Do they come and say, brothers, we appreciate all y'all did? No. Nigerians come here like they entitled. Haitians. The younger generation of Jamaicans. They ain't nothing like the roster. They some losers. All of the Black immigrants that have been coming since the 80s is worthless. To me. I wouldn't care if they threw them all out. What I'm losing, I'm gaining. There's more jobs for me, more food for me, more work for me, more money to go around for me. Why would I want you to get something? You don't share it. It's gone. The United States is going broke because you're letting these immigrants come in and ship money out the country. That's what was going on up there in Minneapolis. The Somalians sending billions and billions of dollars to Somalia from extracting money from the country, ain't putting no money back. And then the money going to people that's going over there doing terrorist acts and unaliving Black people. Where Black people come in from Somalia, make money, send it to Somalia to unalive Black people in Somalia. Because that's where the money was going, for self-hate in East Africa, because that's all they do. That's all they do over there is self-hate. Africans don't fight nobody but Africans. That's how Africans fight as Africans. They come take the money, send it over there to unalive their own brothers and sisters. Don't put no money back in the system. The African men don't marry our women, have us marry their women, and we become family. So we ain't family. You're just a stranger. And then we end up in the county jail. And because I'm a Rasta, got dreadlock, now I got to save your black ass from the wolves, from the GDs and the BDs and the vice lords. They want to get at your damn neck. And I'm the only one got some international consciousness. So now I got to save your pussy ass. When you get in here locked up with the guys and you don't speak the language. Now I got to tell him, no, man, leave the brethren alone, man. He good. Leave the brethren alone. Or you come eating off your brothers and sisters and shit like that, and you ain't putting nothing back for your brothers. You don't even look at your brothers and sisters as brothers and sisters. It's worthless to pretend you're brothers and sisters unless you're brothers and sisters. You're either brothers and sisters and you're not. And you're not. You're not. I mean, I've seen it try to get built, especially with reggae. I've seen the elder Rastas try their best to unify black people. All them brethren passed away. They did all that work in vain. Song after song, vibe after vibe, trying to unify black people. Couldn't even unify Jamaica. Coming straight out of Jamaica with unity, they wouldn't even listen down there. It's so nice. Every man for himself and God for himself, which means the best thing. You a soldier, go home and fix your land. That go for city, state, and country. Don't be in Chicago and then run to New York. Fix Chicago. Fix America. Fix Trinidad. Fix the Congo. Fix your place where you at. You can't just run around and eat off each other. There's not enough food. That's like, okay, let's say I move to Trinidad. When I get to Trinidad, I go live with some brethren. They got a spot. They plant food. They bringing up coconuts, plant them so they grow higher up. I don't do nothing. I don't help them plant no coconuts or nothing. I'm just sitting there just eating. Right? The brethren growing food. I don't pick up a hoe. I don't pick up a rake. I don't pick up a machete. I don't move no stones. I don't grow nothing, right? I just go up there, and when the food ready, I just eat. That's what all this immigration is doing. You going somewhere, you ain't bringing nothing to the table, and you just eating. Facts. The only blacks I ever seen that came to America and brought something to the table was Jamaicans. Jamaicans the only one made sure everybody eat. They was the only ones. They was the only ones come. He got the ganja. He sold you the ganja so you can make $1. He got the store in the community, feeding the community. You can work in the store. You can work in there if you want to work in there. Yeah, they hire you. You want to work in there? Yeah. They're the only ones provided jobs, exchange money. They was the only ones in the hood. They was the only ones was just like all other black people. That's a fact. They're the only ones. The Africans never was like that. The Africans was never like that. The Ethiopians weren't like that. The Nigerians ain't like that. The Ghanaians weren't like that. Nobody. The only black people that came up here and became a part of the community was the Jamaicans. They was the only ones. That's a fact. They're the only ones provided job. They came up here when they had reggae. They showed black Americans how to play money and make some money with them. You a drummer, you ain't getting no work. They teach you how to play reggae drums. Now you making money. They teach you how to play bass, guitar. They show you how the music go. You on tour with them. Hey, if you went to see reggae back in the 70s, 80s, half of the dudes on stage is black Americans, men and women. Sometimes the damn near all bad. The only Jamaican is the singer. Everybody eating. That's a fact. You know how much money I made with Jamaicans? I made money. I lived a whole life, didn't have to work a job playing reggae. Facts. And some brethren from the Virgin Islands and some brethren from Trinidad, but mainly Jamaicans, was always in the hood. They never lived nowhere else. They always lived in the hood. Here in Chicago, you had some lived on the north side, but a whole bunch lived right on the south side. LA, right on the south side. Right in the restaurant open right there. Wherever the hell we at, that's where the Jamaicans is at. They was the only ones that was cool. I ain't lying. But the Africans ain't never been shit. We've never had no relationship with the Africans. Matter of fact, when the reggae scene was big with the Jamaicans, a lot of black Americans, the Africans didn't even come. Anybody tell you that? The brothers was there singing about Africa. Africans never came to the reggae scene. I'm telling you the facts. The few Ethiopians came with their nose in the air like, yeah. I had an Ethiopian come to my booth at a reggae festival. You know, he asked me, why you got our king? That's what he asked me. Why you got our king? Like I told him, why you don't respect your own king, punk? Get away from my table. You know what I'm saying? Don't question me, boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why you don't respect your own king? You don't even respect your own king. What the hell is you talking about? You loser. Why I respect your king? Why you don't respect your king? What? Coming because they see we dealing with his Haile Selassie, so they coming trying to get some shine, and they don't even respect his majesty. But they think, oh, y'all like some Ethiopian stuff? I'm an Ethiopian. They wasn't really there. The Ethiopians never came around reggae and Rasta to be a part. They came because they knew we looked up to Ethiopia, so they came like, yeah, I'm an Ethiopian, but never was a part of no culture or nothing. Just was there to get praise with no work put in. Didn't even like their own king like that. They ain't really like his majesty like that. You know how many Ethiopians I cussed out? It's me. I cussed out Marcus Garvey's son and his grandson live. This big fella of my reputation. Yeah, I cussed out Garvey, grandson and his son on my soul. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Face to face. Anybody tell you? And so you looking at this situation where they down there, where the South, I'm on the South African side. You cannot come to South Africa eating off of them. Get your ass out. Get out. South Africans is 100% right. Them Nigerians and Ghanaians coming down there, they ain't got no love for the brothers and sisters of South Africa. They just down there running over the brothers and sisters in South Africa. Running over them. You know that we here, I'm a South African, you know we cutting hair, we got beauty salons and stuff. You come, you open up the businesses that we got. Why you don't come and open some businesses that we don't got? No, you come and put us out of business. That's what they did in South Africa. That's what the beef is over. The other Africans went to South Africa and got in the business that the South Africans was in to make money. I just watched the brother. He said, that's why we're not beefing with the Black Americans, because when they come to our country, they opening other businesses. They getting in the tech industry and stuff like that. We don't go to Africa and get in their business. I'm not going to go to Jamaica and start selling coconuts or step on the brethren's hustle. I'm going to create something that they're not doing. I'm not going to go down there and take money out their pocket. I'm not going to go to Africa and get in the business that you in your country and take food out. This is what the Africans is doing, Ghanaians and Nigeria. They going to South Africa and opening the businesses that the brothers and sisters in South Africa used to eat. Come on, man. That's low down. Hundreds of South Africans took to the streets of Johannesburg on Wednesday to protect high levels of illegal immigration, which has fueled tension between locals and foreign nationals. The demonstration is part of a broader wave of protests, including in the capital, Pretoria. On Tuesday, anti-immigration groups are calling for the strict enforcement of immigration laws and mass deportation. As one of Africa's most industrialized economies, South Africa attracts migrants, both those who entered the country legally and illegally in search of opportunity. The protests in Johannesburg resulted in the closure of many shops owned by both locals and migrants due to fears of potential looting or opportunistic crimes. Organized by the anti-immigration group March and March, it also attracted similar organizations, including Operation Dudula and political parties Action SA and Patriotic Alliance. So the South Africans is sick of that. Thousands marched in anti-immigration protests in South Africa, accusing illegal immigrants of taking away jobs, healthcare, housing, and public services. Sky Africa's correspondent saw a man tasered by the protesters in the street. They saying straight up that these people is coming and taking money from them. And the same thing is happening in Europe. That those people are coming and stepping on the people that was there, taking away jobs. I'll give you a perfect example. In LA, we had a big giant reggae scene. And I used to sell all the Rasta and Pan-African paraphernalia, novelties and shirts, right? So I got my stuff set up nice. I got t-shirts, some of them $25, some of them $30, some of them $20, $15, $10 to $30, depending on how many colors, how expensive the shirt is. So I never robbed nobody. If the shirt costs me more money, I got to sell it for more money. Different qualities, right? All of a sudden, the reggae scene got invaded by some Africans, right? The Africans start coming to the reggae scene with garbage bags full of shirts, all balled up, bootleg Bob Marley shirts. So they come, now they got shirts for $5, balled up in a garbage bags, and put out on a blanket and dump them on the blanket and try to lay them out. And do you know the Africans single-handedly destroyed Black festivals in the United States from LA to New York. The Africans just destroyed it. Facts. They had no relationship with the people at all, and they would come to our events, and it'd be like a family of them, and they'll get like 5 booths, and they'll have those African statues, and they'll have a whole bunch of junk, and they brought down the prestige of the cultural festivals. So all the Black cultural festivals, whether it was reggae or whether it was Pan-African or whether it was African art or Black art or some Black holiday, the Africans invaded it. This is in the late 80s, all through the 90s to the 2000s. And they single-handedly destroyed all our festivals, turned our festivals like Sanford and Son shit, like junk. And still, I bet you today, if you go to any Black festival, you're going to see a bunch of Africans there with booths here and there, but they all together, and they spread it out. And they got these statues and this junk and these African dresses and all of that. Yep, they came and did it with the knockoffs in New York. They come to New York with them bags and throw it on the ground and selling them purses and all that when I went to Times Square. Everything, they bring the quality down. They ruin everything. They take the prestige, they take the quality down, and they undercut the market. They make everything cheap. Nobody want to buy nothing because they go get it for dirt ass cheap, and they just ruin any type of decency. They turn the whole place into Mogadishu. They single-handedly destroyed Black cultural festival, the Africans, for sure. I used to tell the vendors, stop selling them booths, man. They ruining it. And then here go, I got to tell the whole story. So then guess what? The people that was throwing the festivals, it cost them money to get the permits and all that. So the big corporations came in too, bought booths, out there giving away free pens, some insurance company, right? So the corporations, I ain't going to just tell the African, I'm going to tell both sides while I'm telling it. So then the corporations come in. Let's say I'm throwing the festival. Aetna come in. Life insurance will come in. They'll buy some booths. Then they'll be giving away their T-shirts, pens, buttons, right? So now the people that come to the festival, when they come to my booth and see the T-shirts, you know what they say? Are these free? Because they let the corporations come in and give away free stuff. So now the people that start throwing the festivals, right? They charging us. Booth used to be $50, then $100. They want to charge us to be there 3 days. They want to charge us $500, $800, right? So they charge you $800 for a booth. They charge people to get in at the door. So they taking money from the customers, how they can buy a T-shirt from you. When the man come in with him and his 3 kids, he got to pay for entry. So they make the entry money. They make our booth money. They make the money from the industry. And don't nobody else make shit. They ruined the whole, that's why you don't see a lot of festivals. That's why you don't see vendors. Because the guys, the people that throw the festivals rob everybody. If you got corporate America there and I'm paying for a booth, it should be free then. Let the people keep their money so they can spend it with us, right? Listen, if you're charging vendors to raise money to throw the festival and you got corporate America there, let the people in free so they got money to spend with them. No, they charge them too. So they charge the booths. They take a bunch of money from corporate America and they take all the money out of people's pocket. And so you know when the people come in, Dude done paid for him and his 3 kids and his wife. He come in, he got a little money, but what he gonna buy? Food. They gonna buy food first. So the only people make money is food. And if you got a booth, if my booth 500, the food booth is 2,000. So the food people, unless they sell a lot of food and really got some good food, they lose money. And the one that do sell a lot of food, then the other food vendors ain't making nothing. So a lot of food vendors lose. Only the most popular food make money, and everybody else in the festival lose. And they walk away with all that money corporate America gave them. They walk away with all the vendor money we gave them. And they walk away with all the money they charge to get in. I won't even go to that shit because it's a scam. And they do it under black culture too. They scam everybody. That's why y'all don't have as many festivals like it used to be. Because where they gonna raise the money to have it? Nobody gonna get no booth there. And what they do is, you a new vendor, you start a new business, so you go get a booth. Then the next year you don't come, another new vendor come. So they keep robbing the new vendors that think they can go in this crowd and make a lot of money, but you're gonna lose. You ain't gonna make nothing. You're gonna have to stand out there. If the festival is Saturday and Sunday, you're gonna have to stand out there till Sunday evening before you got your money back. You are not gonna double your money. You're not gonna get your money back and no. It's gonna take you 2 days out there to just get you out there just to get your money back. Because what? You paid for the booth, you paid for your transportation to get there, and all this stuff you selling, you bought it. So if I sell your shirt for $15, I didn't make no damn $15. I paid $7.50 for the shirt. So how I'm making money? This stuff I'm selling ain't free. I paid for this stuff, and I paid for the booth, and I paid to get in. How much money I spent? On the side note. And then you got the Africans there with junk, making it look like a Nigerian Sanford and Son. Facts. No cultural, nothing. No, they don't fix themselves up or nothing. They just be there, and they'll be so, and they only smile when you walk up. Hey, you want dress? You want this? And then when you don't buy nothing, and they sit right back down. They'll only smile to see if you're gonna buy something. They don't engage. They just be sitting in their chairs. Go to a festival and look at the Africans. They be sitting in their chair. They just be white. And then they don't have no type of positivity to you until you walk up to their table. And that's when they put the fake smile and shit on. Then if you don't buy nothing, they turn right back to the dude in the check. Everybody else out there gauging is black family. The Africans be there with a booth, but it don't be no family. Everybody else is like a family vibe except the Africans. We got to ban the Africans from our events. I'm telling you, no, you can't. No. One African can get a booth. All y'all 9 cannot get no booths in here. Y'all ruin everything. And you ain't really got no, they don't really like you. How you selling me this African stuff? You don't even like black Americans. You'll be the first one to tell me I'm not no African. You know what I'm saying? But you want to sell my queen an African dress. And now everything we've been saying is true because they're doing it in Africa. Now everybody's saying they never been no Africans. They not Africans. They tribal. So now they're going right to to South Africa and running over to South Africa after all the South Africans been there. And the South Africans is complaining what the Africans doing to them. But the South Africans is just like them. They just getting a taste of their own African medicine because the South Africans ain't no better. The South Africans would do us just like the Nigerians doing the South Africans. Facts. Yeah. To all you South Africans, you just like the other Africans. But you just mad because they doing it to you. They doing to you what you would do to them and to us. You ain't, South Africans, you ain't no different. You just mad because they coming there taking all that food out your mouth. That's all. That's why that when they said that year return and all that, ain't no way I go to Ghana. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I'll move to no Africa. Because I'm a revolutionary and I'm not going nowhere without no weapons. To me, a black man from America that talk black people into going somewhere without self-defense is an enemy. You're an enemy. When you're a black man and you come talk to me about going to Africa without showing me no way to defend myself, I'm looking at you as a traitor. You was a rat. Why you trying to get me to go over there and be defenseless? Me, if I was negotiating with Nigeria or Ghana or something for black Americans to come, first thing is, can we bring our weapons? Because in the United States, we got the right to bear arms. Period. Period. Have gun, will travel. Well, we not never coming to Africa without them things. That's a fact. In case your African ass get to tripping. Boy, I'm not coming over there butt naked to no Africa. You think this is? That's why we don't have problems with Africa and Chicago. Yeah, we don't have no problem with nobody. Because it's different over here. But I'm not going nowhere in nobody land with my wife and my children and no way to defend my family. Way in Africa. Man, is you crazy? Ain't no way. I'm not going nowhere without no self-defense. Period. Ain't no way. I don't even like Pan-Africans because Pan-Africans never pan their ass to Africa. Dr. Umar never gonna move to Africa. He just talking. How long he can keep talking about Africa, he'll never go. He ain't never moving there. He went there and got citizenship just to hustle, and he ran his ass right back. What good is citizenship? Stay your ass over there. He ain't going over there. Sarah soon said he ain't going over there. Them dudes is phony. Yeah, they phony. Said he phony. Said he never going to Africa, gonna stay his ass right there in Detroit. He phony. Running his mouth. He ain't even built like that. I'm just saying. He not built like that. He a schoolboy that became revolutionary. He ain't been outside. He ain't no street. He ain't like that. He ain't never going to Africa. He just running his mouth. No, said he ain't on shit. Anytime you see black Americans try to do something, we trying to get ourselves together. We trying to call ourselves foundational black Americans or establish ourselves because we want to be just like Ghanaians. We want to be just like Sudanese. We want to be like Ethiopians. We want a title too. So we created that we foundational black Americans, meaning that we the black Americans that been here since the Revolutionary War, the Civil War. That's all that means. All FBA means is that we the ones being here. We the ones being here in all the wars. So that's why we call ourselves foundational. Because you could come later and be a black American, and that's fine. But you got to separate a black American. Like you could move here. Let's say you move here from Jamaica. Then you have a son. Then your son have a son. then that son have a son. That son technically is going to be a black American, which is fine. But if you want to get reparations, you got to prove that you was the ones here that picked the cotton, right? So then you got to identify yourself that, no, I'm the black person here when Betsy Ross made the flag. I'm the one that made all these inventions you took. I'm the one, my daddy fought in the Revolutionary War against the British. We the ones fought against the British. We the ones fought in the Civil War. So that's what that is. We identifying which blacks we are. But I had to talk about this because some people over there saying the South Africans is out of line, but the South Africans is not out of line. The Africans from various countries that got in a bad habit of not respecting when they go to other places. And the Africans are going to have to change, because if the Africans don't change, they're going to be kicked out of all the countries. They definitely going to be kicked out of the United States. Africans that came to the United States have been so rude and so separated that if the European Republicans said they was going to throw them out, black people wouldn't help them. Black Americans wouldn't help them. They would be happy. That's what Africans have done. That if the United States government said they was going to throw out Africans, black Americans will say, bye. Because a lot of us, we trying to get out, we trying to stop our women from going to African hair shops. You know, we telling our queens, I'm not paying for you to get that money to no Africans. Y'all sisters got to stop going to them African hair shops, close them down. Stop giving your money so somebody don't respect you. Stop. Back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, we fought white people from that. In order for us to spend money with them, they had to respect us, and that's what they started doing. Because people say you'll spend money with white business, that's because we made white businesses respect us when we spend our money. Now, some of y'all in some of these small cities, y'all letting them do it. But like in Chicago, come to Chicago and go to a store. Ain't no white person going to talk crazy to you. When we in Chicago and we see y'all black people in other cities going to them stores and them white people talk crazy, y'all, we can't believe it. Because they ain't going to do that here. They not doing none of that here. We real bodacious. If I go in a restaurant, I seen a restaurant where they took them and sat them where the blacks at. In Chicago, when I walk in the restaurant and they say, and they take the thing and want to give me a table, I sit where I want to sit. I'll be like, I'm going to sit here. Yeah. I sit down at the table I want to sit at. Facts. Ask somebody. I'm looking for where I want to sit when I come in. I'm like, that spot over there, and I go over there and sit down. I never let nobody sit me where they want to sit me. The only time I let you sit me where you want to sit me, if it's super crowded and I don't want to be a problem and I know you're trying to find a seat. But if it's plenty seats, I don't let nobody pick where I'm going to sit. Hell no. I'm finna sit over there. Now, two things going to happen. I'm going to sit over there or I'm going to leave. I don't care. That's your money you finna lose. But you're not finna charge me and mistreat me and charge me. That's why a lot of Chicagoans, that's why we don't like to travel to certain places, because I feel like it'll get me in trouble. Certain places in Texas, I just don't want to go. Because when I go there, they're going to treat me like they treat y'all in Texas. I seen the Texas restaurant where they had all the black people sitting over here. See, I can't go down there. Because I'm going to be the one stand up and I'm going to get in trouble because y'all lay down. And now here I come, a rebel. And then They're like, oh, who we think he is? And then the sheriff's coming, take me and unalive me because y'all didn't let them people run over y'all. What was it called? A roadhouse or some restaurant, and they let all the black people went and sat. They let them segregate them. I said, I shook my head. I ain't going nowhere with nobody disrespect. What I'm gonna do that for? I'm not gonna go spend no money where I'm hated at. Period. I don't care if it's Disney World, Sea World, your mama world, your daddy world. If they don't respect me, I ain't spending no money. Period. I'm not giving you no money to discriminate against me. Yeah, it was recently. It's all over Instagram. Roadhouse, I think it's called Roadhouse down there in Texas. And they had the whites in there and they had all the blacks. They segregated and they went and sat down too. I can't live. I can't. That's why I don't like to go a lot of places. I have to see some type of freedom. I have to see you be stand up. I'm not going where no weak blacks live at. And then I'm down there fighting. I'm the only one fighting. I get put in jail, unalived in jail. Well, I didn't move down here. Y'all let these people run over y'all, and they just keep doing it. Yeah, they pay to go in there. And a lot of these places, blacks accept discrimination and still spend their money. The black woman do it all across the country. She go to the Koreans talk to her like a dog. The black woman to go to the Korean and she won't even speak English. Ain't no way you waiting on me and you speaking no foreign language. I'm like, listen, you have to speak English if you're going to get my money. You going to let her do your talk. Hell no. That's the next movement I think I'm going to be pushing this summer for the black man. Get your woman out of them things. The black man, you looking real weak. You're letting her put blonde hair in her head. You're letting the black woman just do whatever she want to do because you want to sleep with a woman so bad and you ain't really going to raise no kids or be no husband. So you just letting the women just run over you. But I know this. The world going to have to come up with some futuristic immigration planning. It's time for worldwide immigration planning. Okay, the world's getting crowded. We get more diseases, right? More sicknesses, more variety of STDs, people bringing bugs. That's invasive species is in their luggage and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They down there now trying to kill them snakes in Florida. Them snakes almost taking over Florida. When they let people bring these big ass snakes that ain't from Florida. You mess around, won't have no food. You can't just travel around wherever you want to travel around. And they're going to start having to have some futuristic immigration. It's going to have to be a time period. So many people can come to Chicago and that's it. Nobody else can come. And if you run across the border, we throwing you you're going to get 5 years in the detention center and deported. Lock them up and make them work. Lock them up. You ain't got to make them slaves, but they got to earn their keep. Lock them up and make them contribute to the society and pay for the fact we got to pay people to stop you from running over here. Okay, you want to run over here, run your ass up here and pack these goods and services and mail them off. You can't just, the way this is going, it's going to be violence everywhere. As far as vacation or becoming a resident, no. You can't become a resident if we don't got the job. Where you going to work at? We can't let you come up here and be a resident and take a job for somebody already live up here, and now they don't got a job. It's like they going to have to start thinking like you need jobs. How could you, let's say you got a city with 20,000 people and you got 21,000 jobs available. So everybody got a job and there's wanted. Cool. 500 people come in, there's jobs available. But those jobs have to be able for them to pay their rent and stuff. It can't be no job where they can't afford to live. How could you let somebody in somewhere that don't have enough jobs for the people in there or going to take jobs away from the people there? So now you're creating homelessness, unemployment. How does that make any type of fiscal sense? That's like me. I got a house. I got 2 children. I got a boy and a girl and a wife. Me and my wife got a room. My daughter got a room. My son got a room. And we got the guest room, bedroom. I go and adopt another boy and another girl. All right. Maybe the boy could sleep in the room with my son and the girl could sleep in the room with my daughter. But can I go get more people than I got room to sleep for people to sleep? Can I bring more people in the house that I can afford to feed? So you telling me that I can open up my house and bring people out of my house without making sure I make enough money to pay to take care of them? If I bring some children into my house, you telling me I don't have to make sure I can provide enough food. I don't have to make sure I can provide enough clothing. I don't have to make sure I got enough economics to pay their phone bills, more extra light, electricity. So if you can't do that in the home, how could you do that in the country? How could you let people in the country and you don't know if you got nowhere for them to live? You like seriously. How could you let somebody come to your state looking for a job and you ain't got no damn job? You ain't got no jobs. So yeah, that's cool to come look for a job, but not if you don't got none. So then when we don't got no jobs, the country closed. And then when some jobs open up, okay, we got some jobs. Okay, come on in, we got enough jobs. Okay, that's it. You can't have 10,000 jobs and let 100,000 people in. And so this is what's unbelievable. You can't have 100,000 apartment buildings and housing, but let 1 million people in, and you only got housing for 100,000. This is what they're doing. Homeless people everywhere. Not making no type of fiscal sense. But they want you to go to school and be smart. Every state, every country should have the availability, a list of availability. How many people can come into this country? Show me where that's at. But they so smart. It should be calculated. According to the housing and jobs in the United States, only this many people can come here and survive. And they would have to go to this state, this state they can't go to, this state ain't got enough jobs. This state ain't got enough jobs, right? So then an immigrant would have to come and go to the state where they could work. They can't go to the state where there's no jobs. So make it make sense. Let's say we got mass homelessness in California. Can a bunch of immigrants, should we bring in a bunch of immigrants and send them to California? You're going to send them somewhere where there's available housing, not no housing. You're going to send them somewhere where they skill level, they can find a job for their skill level. You're not going to bring nobody in with no skills. Let them live somewhere where you need skills. What? You can't bring no immigrants and send them to Chicago where you're going to have to make some serious money or your ass going to be homeless. Make it make some sense. Exactly, Mundo. I don't think anyone should come in until we solve our homeless problem and our food problem. Man, Mustafa, I was in Chicago driving. Boom. I see a Hawaiian when I pull off the freeway with a sign, homeless, please help. I knew he was a Hawaiian road. I said, where you from, bro? He said, I'm from the big house. I was like, mahalo. Like, what you doing in Chicago? He was like, I left Hawaii. I went to California. I was homeless. And then I had a friend making a trip here to visit some relatives. I rode with them, and now we stuck in Chicago. This man left all the way to Hawaii, get to California, homeless. In Chicago, homeless. You know why? Because when you come into a country, you need to have a drug test. This is why I can't believe in a sophisticated country they so primitive. There's no way I'm letting you in here from nowhere. You have to have a drug test. Because if you're a junkie, why would I let you in here and you got addictions? Make it make some sense. Why would I let you in the country with and you got addiction problem? So obviously this dude was in Hawaii, had an addiction problem. Okay, fact. Hawaii is the country, so you can't check him because he's already in the country. But you can't come here from Mexico, England, Africa with no addiction problem. You can't come here from Venezuela, Mexico without a drug test. So now you can come to the United States without a drug test, but when I go apply for a job, I got to be tested. Do that make any sense? You can't get a job without getting a drug test, but you could come into a whole country where you got to get a job? Okay, wait a minute. I'm confused. You're in America. To get a job, you got to have a drug test. But you ain't in America, but you can come into America and not get a drug test to find out if you could get a job. Don't we need to find out if you can even get a job? Oh, no, you on drugs. Ain't no need of you coming here. You ain't going to be able to get no job. Duh. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That it's 2026 and the world governments aren't acting like it's 2026. They acting like it's 2001 or 1995. Am I lying? Do y'all feel that the governments are up to par with the date that we living in? Do y'all believe that these world governments are acting like it's 2026? No, they're not. So what's the problem? The problem is we paying politicians and they not doing shit. They're just taking our money. That is the problem. They sitting in Washington, they sitting in London, they sitting in Nigeria, these politicians and all over the world, and they're not doing their job. They're just getting checks. Tell me I'm lying. Y'all know that's the real problem. Y'all know the problem is the politicians are not doing their jobs. They are not doing their jobs. If you have an immigration problem, if you have all these problems, the politicians are not doing their job. That's their job. They're taking tax dollars from you and letting anybody come into your state and your country. Well, what are they getting paid for? Make some sense. The South African politicians ain't doing their job. How y'all let all these other Africans in South Africa? Make some sense. Now the politicians try to run their mouth. We don't want no zip up. Dude, shut up. You the reason. You shouldn't have let all these Africans come in here. Why you let all these Africans from all over come to South Africa when you know you don't got enough jobs for the South Africans in South Africa? Yeah, man, oh, wait. You a politician in South Africa. You let a bunch of Nigerians and Ghanaians come into a place where you don't even have enough work and enough opportunity for the people in South Africa. What? You're supposed to be, no, you can't come. We can't help you. You come to my border, you say, I want to come where you at. I need help. My country's no good. I say, I understand you need help, but we don't have it. I'm not doing nothing wrong. You definitely need help. But if I don't have the help, what you want me to do? I don't have it. Then you could be directed somewhere that has it. And if nobody has it, then you got to go back home and y'all got to fix it then. And as this country, I would do better contributing money to your country to help them fix it for you would be a better way to spend the money than to let you come and spend all the money with you tearing everything up. Am I lying? Wouldn't the money be the money that these countries are spending, dealing with the problem with all these immigrants? Wouldn't that money be better spent helping them stay where the hell they at? There would be less money, I guarantee you. If America's spending trillions of dollars on immigrants, it wouldn't be nothing but some millions to help them stay at home. Am I lying? Am I lying? And you know why the government ain't no good? Because dudes is over here disrespecting me and ain't standing on nothing. Because you don't stand on nothing. It all goes back to the people. If the people of South Africa would have been standing on business, this never would have happened. They were down there playing lollygag. They were supposed to have been straightening that government out. They waited till it got too bad. Now they complain. Because all these places is of the people, for the people, by the people. And if the government is running over you, it's your fault. It's just like if you get married to a woman and she's running over you, whose fault that? If you're married to a man, he's running over you, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? How is it his fault he's running over you? That's your fault he's running over you. Here in the United States, we got the fakest political people ever. They want to get on social media and type and back and forth to each other when the election comes. And then when election over, they don't give a damn. %90 of the black people on social media talking about FBA, they FBA. They ain't doing shit for reparations. Ain't gonna do a damn thing for no reparations. They just hollering FBA so they can beef. FBA is beef. They just got it for beefing. That's why you see FBA, and you don't see reparations. Too much FBA, too little reparations. You don't see no reparations. You see all tether, FBA, tether, FBA. We don't want FBA. We don't want tether. We want reparations. But you got a bunch of bozos that just want to argue. So then, foundational Black American concept is right, but when you got a bunch of fools misusing it, then the concept get blamed for the fools. So now they want to hate on the concept because they think the fools represent the concept. So now the concept get lost by the fools. That's what's going on with foundational Black Americans. The fools is ruining the concept. People like me got to keep teaching people the real concept because the fools is giving them, making them think that's the concept, that the concept is beefing. They ain't teaching nobody why you delineating or nothing. Okay, you delineating why? Because if you don't show who you are, you can't get nothing. Duh. If you want to get paid for the fire department, and you got to delineate and show them you work for the fire department, can you get back pay for the fire department if you don't prove you was a fireman? All right then, can you get reparations if you can't prove that your family was the slaves? Duh. How many FBA know that? How many FBA know the main reason that you find chasing your lineage is for reparations? Foundational Black American concept was built off the reparations movement. Duh. It wasn't built off of arguing with tethers. And so a lot of times these brothers, when they anti another brother, that's because they're not pro nothing. See, if he was pro something, he wouldn't be anti-FBA. He'll be pro whatever he is, but he ain't on nothing. He's some foreigner that's upset because of the identity separation, because he's not smart enough to know that the identity separation is not anti-Black. Okay, if you're a Rasta and you say you 12 tribe, that make you not a Rasta? Because to be a 12 tribe, that's delineation. You precisely describing what type of Rasta you are. That don't make you not no Rasta. If you 12 tribe, Naya Bingi, right? Bobo Shanti, that's delineation. That's the same as foundational Black America. That's delineation. You're a Rasta, but you delineating means you're showing what specific Rasta you are. Delineate means to describe exactly, to give an exact description of yourself. So when you see somebody talking about they're a Rasta and they don't push delineation, that's a dumbass. Because if it wasn't delineation, then you would just be Rasta. But Rasta delineation too. Because if you're a Black man, how you a Rasta? So to be a Black man and call yourself Rasta is delineation. Because you're supposed to just be a Black man. What's the difference in FBA and Rasta? Ain't none. You calling yourself a specific type of Black man. That's delineation. See, this is the big leagues over here. You'll come and say, we shouldn't call ourselves FBA. We should be Black. But then you'll call yourself a Baptist. You'll call yourself a Muslim. That's delineation. If you're a Christian, that's delineation. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, that's delineation. That's the same as FBA. That's a fact. Go give me your big dude with knowledge, whoever y'all smart dude is, and put up 2,000. I won't take their whole 10,000. Just put up. I won't take all your money because I could bet 100,000 because you're gonna lose. Because these people don't know nothing. They ain't studying nothing. These brothers ain't studying. It's sad, but it's true. It's sad though. The state of the knowledge of the black man, especially with social media, because we got too many black men talking and they don't know nothing. The situation in Africa is going to be the same situation here. It's going to be the same. Money getting tighter, prices going up, and immigrants are not going to be welcome nowhere because there's no way where people going to not have enough and want to see somebody that ain't where they from get nothing. That's just what it's finna be. In Europe, in Asia, and in the United States, in the Caribbean, and South and Central America, as times get harder, if you're not from there, you better go home. You better go home. I'm telling you. You watch. Watch how America get. If you're not from there, you better go home. I'm telling you. Because it's getting tight. I don't know if you all paying attention. Here in Chicago, they cut all them people off a link. This their first month not getting a link. They saying if you 65 and under, you got to do some kind of work to get your link. Unless you could come prove to them that you got some serious disabilities. You ain't getting no more food stamps and no money. So right now, this month, it's way more dangerous. There's people that ain't going to be able to eat. I'm telling you, this is not a joke. That's why you got to watch me. That's why you got to subscribe and pay attention. That's why I be so serious, because my conversations be serious. I'm not here really to play. I'm trying to help people, especially a lot of younger people and older people. And right now, starting this month, things have changed a lot in the United States. I'm telling you. If you're an immigrant, and you don't got your legal status together, leave. Save up your money and leave on your own. Don't let these people deport you, because they're going to deport you. So it's better for you to leave on your own. Leave, go home, and establish yourself at home, because they're going to throw you out. You immigrants will not last over here during the rest of the Trump administration. If the Republicans win the next election, you're done. And if they deport you, you can end up in a building for 2 or 3 years before they finally deport you, because they're building all these facilities to lock y'all up, big ones. That's why ICE been quiet. They've been quiet because they ain't had nowhere to put you. So now they going and open these big, giant, redoing these big, giant federal facilities to detain you. Look it up. And once they get about 3 of them done, they own like 100,000 each one. They finna be grabbing people left and right. It's not gonna be on the news either, like up there in Minneapolis. If you the news, they're gonna lock you up. If you come and you show and you expose an ICE raid, you're gonna go to prison. You're gonna be charged with interfering in some type of police business. Watch. You're gonna be charged for that. You're gonna be charged with aiding and abetting illegals and about 3-4 crimes. they're going to have some serious time. You're going to be looking at 7 and 9 years if you video the wrong thing. If you video ICE and expose ICE, you're going to prison. Why? Remember I said it first. This thing in Africa is for everybody. This video is in Africa, but this is showing you the future. Everybody gonna have to go home. The money getting tight. You gotta go home. You gotta have to go figure it out. You're gonna see the largest return to people to their homeland you ever seen over these next 5 years. All them Africans gonna have to go back to their original country. Remember I told you. And the only way you're gonna be able to go to a country, you're gonna have to have a pass from a huge corporation. You're gonna have to prove that your skill is 100% needed for this corporation in Africa. For this corporation. That's it. If you don't have a corporate, you're going to have a corporate type passport that say, oh, IBM sent you over here. It'll definitely probably be less than 5 years, but it's a growing thing. So it's going to start less than 5 years, but it's going to be almost complete in 5 years. But you're right. It's starting now. I'm telling you. And you might as well go ahead and get your passport. You might as well definitely go get your birth certificate. If you're an American citizen, go get your birth certificate. When you go down there and get your birth certificate, they're going to put the seal on it. It's cheap by 3. By 3, keep 2 at home, keep 1 in your wallet or your purse, your birth certificate. You're going to have your birth certificate. You're going to at least have to have your birth certificate and your driver's license. And they trying to make us get that new driver's license. So that'd probably be mandatory. You understand? But you're going to have to identify yourself. Seriously. And if you're an immigrant and you here illegally, go home. Go home. You're African, go back, go home. Go home now. Because if you go home now, you can get yourself established. If you go home when everybody going, it's going to be like a bad movie. You're going to be mixed in with all these thousands of Africans or Haitians or Jamaicans that they send at home. It's going to be harder to be established. If you go back now, you can get established. Now, if you're an African and you working at a hospital or something, you'll be fine. If you got certain occupations, you'll be all right. But anything less than hospital or something like that, some kind of medical, they're going to throw your ass out of here. A job ain't going to keep you here because they're going to say, you got an American job. Get out. We'll put American in that job. You ain't no American. Birthright citizenship, they're going to take that. That. You might as well kiss that goodbye. That's going to be gone before this year's over. Y'all going to be gone. You ain't going to, you ain't going to be able to come over here and have no baby says American. That's going to be gone. The Americans that used to support you immigrants, they going to turn on you. The Americans, because you know you got Americans support you, they all going to flip on you. They only support you because things was all right for them. When they don't have no job and they rent is hard and they look and see that you got money and they don't, they're going to want you out of here. When they see that the immigrants got nicer car than what they got, they're going to throw you out. You got to get out. Because they're going to feel like you taking their stuff. And they're going to be saying, my granddaddy was here, my great-granddaddy was here, my great-great-granddaddy was here, my great-great-great-granddaddy's here. You done came from Africa. You done came from China. How you getting our stuff? How you getting our stuff? We've been in this country. We built this country. Who is you? Go home. Go to your country. Go back to your country. That's where we headed. If you are an immigrant or if you don't like certain stuff, to you brothers and sisters from Africa and stuff like that, get the hell off the internet. If you are African or something and you on the internet arguing with Tariq Nasheed, arguing with FBA, you are targeting yourself. The federal government is watching that, and they're going to come and get you and throw you out the country. So all you brothers and sisters from Africa, all you brothers and sisters just here that's immigrants, avoid debates on behalf of immigrants. Shut up. Because you're talking to ICE, you're talking to immigration services. If you don't think that the federal government is watching all these discussions between FBA and tethers, and if you don't think they planning to throw the ones that y'all as immigrants out of here, you're a fool. And don't say that I didn't try to help you. Don't call me no hater, because I'm trying to help you right now, because they gonna throw you out. You out, you on your way out. I'm telling you, go on your own accord so you can set yourself up so you won't be part of the great migration. Because it's going to be a great forced migration. Definitely in the United States and Europe. 100%. Europe is going to throw all immigrants out. They're going to throw you out. Maybe if you've been there since the 50s, they might let you stay. But all y'all Johnny come latelys, they're going to throw you out. They're going to throw you out. They are in South Africa hunting for non-South Africans. And a lot of people getting hurt, but African news is slow. So they report shops tore up. Man, you should see. They tearing their shops up. The one guy been missing. They just found him. I think the Nigerian brother been missing for about 8 days. They just found him, but they ain't telling what he said yet, where he been. Everybody thought he was gone. So I ain't gonna hate on black immigrants. I'm gonna give you game. Go home on your own. You don't want to be sitting in no detention center. And to you brothers and sisters in Africa that's in Nigeria and stuff like that, start preparing a way for your people to come home. Stop being a loser and disgrace. Fix your place so people can come home. Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia. Y'all really think Ethiopia, y'all think they're going to let all these Ethiopians stay in America? They're going to throw them out. They're not going to let all them Ethiopians stay in Washington, D.C. They're going to throw them out. 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 They're because the African immigrants, you didn't do it right. You didn't come over friendly. You came over stuck up. You tried to come to another country and stay a Ethiopian. You tried to come to another country and stay a Nigerian. Ain't nobody gonna let you stay in their country when you trying to be your own country. They're gonna say go home. Why would you want a Nigerian here that want to be Nigerian? You don't want to be no American. You try to come here and be a Nigerian and trying to bring Nigeria here. They're going to throw your ass out. I'm telling you what I know. Ask the Jamaicans. That's why all of my Jamaican friends got deported. You know why so many Jamaicans that came in from the 70s gone, so many Rastas got deported? Because they tried to be Jamaicans. So the government looked at it as disrespect. They're like, so let's get this straight. You want American citizenship, but you Jamaican? You want to raise the Jamaican flag? Well, then go home. Who gonna let you come to their country and worship your country? Duh. Why? Look at the stupid Venezuelans. They ran up here illegal and started waving Venezuelan flags. I said, man. The Mexicans waving the Mexican flag. They're going to get thrown out. Instead of just coming and sit your ass down being an American. No, you want to bring Mexico to California. You want to bring Mexico to Chicago. Really? Don't nobody want this to be Mexico. We don't want this to be Africa. We don't want this to be the Caribbean. And if you don't adapt here, we don't want you here. We want you out of here. But you done went and took your ass. You a Ghanaian, and you tried to push Ghana in South Africa. You tried to push Nigeria in South Africa. Now the South Africans pushing back like this ain't Nigeria. You got to get out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where the Nigerians going to go. Everybody want them out. The Nigerians made the work. I don't know. They slow. Something wrong with them. Nigerians are not going to be welcome nowhere in the world. Remember I told you. If you're a doctor, they'll let you stay. If you're a basic nurse, they're going to throw you out. You taking jobs for American nurses. Everybody can't be a doctor, so they'll tolerate you. Got to go to school a long time. But if you're one of these go to school a couple year nurses, CNA, they'll say, get the hell out. Especially as they go toward technology. Because they ain't going to have no jobs. They're going for technology. So when they start going for technology and they got to fire people, who you think they're going to fire? I'm telling you what I know. That's why they tell Americans to get that new ID, right? Go in there, you immigrants, go get that new ID they talking about. Watch what happens. Nobody ain't gonna help them no way. If you send money or not, that don't make no difference. You send money to Africa, you go back to Africa, they gonna be singing, what have you done for me lately? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, yeah. I don't mean nothing. What you got now? And then when you go back, well, a lot of immigrants Really don't know. Let me give you a perfect example. A lot of my brethren, they moved here from Jamaica, right? They came here in the 70s. So because so many Jamaicans was doing crimes and all this, they was getting deported. And whether they was getting deported or not or visiting, when they go to Jamaica, they don't get respected like that. As a matter of fact, it was so bad that a lot of Jamaicans that worked up here in the United States, that retired and bought homes in Jamaica and went back, they robbed them and unalived them. Who remember that couple from New York that made all that money up here, then they bought a place in Jamaica, went there, they robbed them and unalived them because they don't consider you like them. Any Jamaican will tell you, if you live a foreign for a while and you come back and they mind y'all foreign, they not honoring you as no Jamaican that been there. Ask some Jamaicans, they'll tell you. Jamaicans that live up here and go back down there, a lot of Jamaicans don't like them. No, they don't like you. Because they look like, we been here. You're not been here. Hey, Lorenzo, I'm telling them. I'm telling you. They don't like that. And they might y'all live a foreign, boy, I live a foreign, come back out Jamaica like I'm some big shot or something. Sure. I'm here running this around here, boy. Where you been? You know what I'm saying? You can't come back down here.